Hi, I'm Akua Jamphy from the British Blacklist. How are you guys doing?
Good to meet you.
I'm doing great. Nice to meet you.
I just wanted to jump straight in and ask you guys, just could you tell us both, both of you, please tell us a bit about your character?
Oh, well, I played George Washington, the general and of the Continental Army, and then later the first president of the United States.
I play the Marquis de Lafayette in the first act, who is a French aristocrat who came over to fight for the Continental Army and befriended Hamilton and his band of friends that we referred to as the Sons of Liberty. And then in the second half, I played Thomas Jefferson, famous author of the Declaration of Independence and slave owner.
Yeah, that's a big title. So for both of you, again, what did you learn new about American history through your characters, if anything?
Well, I can't say that I learned things that I wasn't quite aware of. I've always sort of, as a hobby and an interest, always been invested in learning about those stories and about the men who kind of made all this happen. I guess the part that was really surprising to me, though, that is reflected in the show, is just how trifling all of them were, and just how insidious the politics of that age were, and that they mirror so much of what's been happening recently. I would say within the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, that's for real.
Yeah, same for me. Except I was not much of a history buff, so most of what I learned for the show is new to me. But I think the most fun part or fascinating part for sure is the sort of pettiness of the politics and the viciousness of it, also without television, without any real sense of immediate accountability like we have today. Like, people would say some totally insane things about each other to try and win an election. And so that's it is both comforting and infuriating that we have progressed a little.
When I saw the London production of Hamilton, obviously I'd been buoyed by the groundswell and the response, the amazing response when it first opened in Broadway. And when I watched it, of course, enraptured, amazing, thought it was brilliant. But part of me felt like the accolades were slightly patronizing, because I love hip hop, I love soul, I love R&B, and I've been to concerts, and I know the power of the narrative of our music. So part of me was a bit like, well, we've been knowing this, and obviously Lin-Manuel tapped into something that we knew would work on stage. But how have you felt about the response to Hamilton in itself, and actually being a part of such an important legacy for theatre?
I totally feel you, and I agree with you on that. And but I think the thing for me to remember is that Hamilton's a pretty good gateway drug for a lot of different folks, right? If you don't know anything about musical theater, but you happen to be a hip hop aficionado or a hip hop fan, it's a good entryway to the musical theater world for you. Vice versa, and I think what folks who do participate in the culture of hip hop run into a lot is a lot of people being like, I don't like rap, but I like this, which is hella patronizing. And what it means is you don't listen to rap. But what the potential for that is that now they will. And what I've seen it happen a lot with my own personal journey is all of these folks who did not listen to rap music have gone and found my band Clipping, which is on a pretty fringe end of that spectrum. It's pretty out there stuff, and finding themselves able to get into that. If you can appreciate Hamilton and Clipping, you can appreciate almost everything that has anything to do with hip hop. So I've made my peace with that sort of patronizing comment over time.
Christopher, did you want anything to add?
Theater has always sort of had to be a gateway. Theater in all of its many forms and all of its different iterations, and whoever is up on that stage, it's always been a vehicle by which the barrier is broken. It's not just sort of this blind sound coming out of a radio or out of a speaker or into your headphones. It's the live experience and the fact that you never lose sense that there are people who are actually expressing an idea, independent of whatever form that they're using. To say that Black folks understand hip hop, it's our culture. It's a part of our culture. It's something that we birthed out of the experiences that we had. We've seen it, spread across the world. We've seen its influence just multiply exponentially. People are always going to try to find words to describe the experience that they're having, but I think the feeling that is elicited from not just this show, but from all theatrical experiences. That's the church that folks are looking for. And so even though they may be without the ability to express it in a succinct and non-patronizing way, I think that the feeling of that is something that folks are trying to get to, even if they don't have the words for it. And so our hope is that, you know, as with every theater goer, that we found a language that resonates with people. So let's keep telling that story, and then let's keep having discussions. And more importantly, let's keep feeling something.
Thank you so much, both of you. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it.